Hello and welcome. Today, I want to share a heartwarming story with you. A little tale about finding your own light. In this ancient forest, where the trees were so tall they seemed to touch the stars, lived a tiny fox named Lumo. Now, Lumo was a fox like any other. In many ways he had soft, russet fur, clever eyes, and a bushy tail. But his tail had a secret. When dusk fell, it began to glow, casting a warm, gentle light, almost like a little lantern he carried with him everywhere. You might think having a glowing tail would be wonderful, but for poor Luma, it felt like a curse. While other young foxes blended into the shadows, playing hide-and-seek in the twilight, Lumo stuck out. "Look at Lumo, the walking nightlight." They'd giggle, "He's too bright to be a proper fox." Their teasing stung, and Lumo grew to resent his unique gift. He felt embarrassed, different, and so very alone. Determined to be like everyone else, Lumo tried everything he could think of to hide his glow. He would sit on his tail, trying to smother the light. He'd wrap it in thick leaves and mud, hoping to dim its brightness. He even tried digging a deep hole and tucking his tail inside. But the light would always find a way to peek through. No matter what he did, his glow remained, a constant reminder that he just didn't fit in. He spent his nights hiding away, watching the others from a distance, wishing he could just disappear into the darkness. Then, one evening, the sky turned a menacing shade of gray. The wind began to howl through the trees, and a terrible storm rolled in. Rain fell in blinding sheets, and flashes of lightning were followed by claps of thunder that shook the very ground. The forest, usually just dark, was plunged into an inky, impenetrable blackness. Not a single star or moonbeam could pierce the thick clouds. Panic spread through the forest. The storm had come so suddenly that many of the smaller animals were caught far from their homes. Lost and disoriented in the total darkness, they began to cry out for help. A family of rabbits was separated, their tiny squeaks filled with fear. A young badger had stumbled and couldn't find his way back to his burrow. The forest, once a familiar home, had become a terrifying maze. Huddled under a large mushroom, Lumo could hear their desperate calls. His heart ached for them. He was safe, and his tail was, as usual, tucked firmly beneath him. But as he listened to the cries getting weaker, a thought sparked within him. He remembered the teasing, the loneliness, the shame he felt about his light. But he also saw the fear and danger all around him. What if, what if his light wasn't a burden? What if, just this once, it could be a blessing? Taking a deep, shaky breath, Lumo made a choice. He slowly, hesitantly, uncurled his tail. The warm, golden light spilled out, cutting through the suffocating darkness. It felt strange, exposing the very thing he'd always tried to hide. But then, he did something even braver. He stood up tall, climbed onto a large, mossy rock, and lifted his glowing tail as high as he possibly could. His tail shone like a beacon, a steady, unwavering star in the heart of the storm. The lost animals, their eyes wide with relief, saw the light. "Look!" cried a little field mouse. "A light! Follow the light!" One by one, they navigated their way through the treacherous darkness, drawn toward Lumo's steady glow. He guided the rabbit family back to their warren and helped the young badger find his path. He stayed on that rock, his light a symbol of hope, until every last animal was safely home. From that day forward, everything changed. No one ever teased Lumo for being too bright again. They didn't laugh at his glow, they celebrated it. They looked at his light with gratitude and admiration. When the forest grew dark, they didn't feel afraid. They would look for Lumo, their friend, their guide, their little beacon of hope. And Lumo finally understood. His light wasn't something to hide. It was his strength, his purpose, and the very thing that made him special. He was Lumo, the glow fox, and he was finally proud to shine. Thank you for listening to Lumo's story. It's a beautiful reminder that the things that make us different are often our greatest gifts. If you enjoyed this tale, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more stories. We'd love to have you in our community. Until next time, find your own light and let it shine.